Hey guys, Bo back at the Z Sports. I want to say thank you for all of you. Thank you for the IFL. And guys, guess what we got in the house today? We are going out after every mixed martial art guy we can find that's getting a name for himself. And right now, we got a guy from the IFL, John Gunderson. How you doing, John?
I'm doing good.
Hey, John, how did you wind up getting involved in the IFL and making a big name for yourself?
Yeah, I was just at work one day and I got a phone call that Ken Shamrock was going to have some tryouts for his IFL Lions team. So I drove down there, tried out, made the team, and, basically the rest of that's history.
And what's interesting is, too, you didn't just drive. You drove a long, long distance to make your dream come true. And in that drive time, what was going through your mind as you were getting closer to your destination?
Just basically hurry the hell up and get there so I get some sleep because I was driving at nighttime.
Now, you were a carpenter when you started out. How did that all come about? Did you do some, amateur matches before getting involved, or were you pretty hot and heavy in it, waiting for your shot?
Yeah, I already had a bunch of fights, and I had a pretty extensive amateur career, and I think I had 20 or 18 amateur fights, and then at that point in time I'd already had I think 16 professional fights, so I was just basically waiting for my chance.
Now, when getting involved in the IFL, what is a couple things that was unique to the IFL that you haven't experienced elsewhere?
The team atmosphere for sure was definitely unique. Traveling, with 4 other guys and 2 to 3 other coaches definitely was unique and a new experience.
And I bet working with Ken Shamrock has got to be just incredible for you, a legend in mixed martial arts, to have that guy on your side all the time.
Yeah, Ken's a great guy. He's done a lot of things for me, and he's definitely a good individual. So it was definitely a good thing to be around him and be a part of his team.
Now, what are you looking for yourself right now in the upcoming fights you got going on? What are you kind of doing to get yourself prepared? And since being in the IFL, have you changed your training much?
Yeah, well, since I've been in the IFL, my training's definitely changed a lot. I've had to, train a lot more. As of recently, I've actually moved from Reno, Nevada, which was where I was training with the Lions then, and I moved out to Las Vegas, Nevada, because I got a job out here, being a head trainer at a gym. And then I also do my personal fight training at Extreme Couture with all the fighters there. And so, we got some of the top fighters there. So I believe that, I've only been here for 2 weeks, but I'm pretty athletic, and it's only going to take about 6 months to see a dramatic change in my abilities and my game.
I think a lot of us who are following mixed martial arts are amazed that the IFL has so many top quality coaches, so many top, organizations, Couture, Quest, Shamrock. I mean, the list goes on. It's got to feel pretty numb at times when you walk into a room and you see the best of the mixed martial arts sitting in that room.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a good feeling, and it's a good organization, and there's a lot of good guys involved in it. I'm really happy with the IFL and everything they've done for me and everyone that's involved in it.
Now, when we got involved in radio and TV back in the days, people always asked us, are they really like that? I'm like, well, the radio guys are always like that. The TV guys are always fake. What is kind of these legends now? Are they pretty much the way they seem on TV, or is there a lighter side to them?
What's that now?
The coaches.
The coaches, yeah. Some coaches are like they seem on TV. Like, for instance, Ken. I think Ken was portrayed as kind of a bad guy, a mean person, but he's actually, the exact opposite. He's a great guy. He'll do anything he can for you. The guy will give you your shirt off his back. Some of the other coaches I've met are great. Randy's a good coach. He's strictly business. Matt Lindland, he's a hard-nosed coach, but
he certainly is, man, isn't he? Woo!
Yeah, he is. He's a hard-nosed coach, but he's a good coach. There's no playing around with him. So, I respect and like all the coaches. I don't think there's any coach that I really didn't like.
Now, what is a couple things that they've taught you that you really weren't doing when you were fighting outside of this that you've really grasped hold of and it's working for you. What is that one thing?
Well, the one thing I don't know. There's so many more than one thing that I wasn't doing. The bottom line was training with the right people. Getting the right training, I think, was the most important thing.
Definitely. Now, what is something Randy taught you?
Well, it's Randy doesn't really do all the coaching at his gym so far. Really, I'm training with like the coaches there, Sean Tompkins.
Yep.
And there's a couple other coaches. We just got a new grappling coach. I think the most important thing I think Sean's taught me just in a little bit of time I've spent with him is stand up. Just the things just the little hints and clues that he can give you, to have more power and to be more active and to throw more combinations. I mean, just everyone in that gym are good fighters, and the coaches are excellent. So they're world-class coaches. So, it's a privilege to be a part of something like that.
Now, what was your discipline and what got you involved in mixed martial arts to begin with?
I actually started out as a boxer. I had 17 boxing matches, and then I had one pro boxing match. I just went to an event, like one of the first ones in Oregon. I went to it and sat ringside for my birthday, and I was just, I was basically hooked. So, and it wasn't even legalized then. This was probably 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even a little longer, maybe even 6 years ago. It wasn't even legalized yet. It was basically, there was no commission, no nothing. And so I just basically fell in love with it. Didn't really understand it very much. I was one of those stupid guys that said, I remember I was the guy sitting there saying, oh, I'd kick that guy's ass and this guy's ass, Didn't really understand what they were doing on the ground with the grappling. And then when I was actually asked to fight in one, and I said, all right, well, I'll train and I'll fight in the next one. And then when I started training, and as bad as I was getting worked and didn't know what these guys were catching me with and what was going on, I was just falling in love with it. I knew it was for me because it was hard and it was demanding and it was challenging.
I think the one thing that has gripped the public in America and across the world is we finally got a sport that utilizes the best in every field. Wrestlers, jiu-jitsu artists, hitters. It seems like it's all going at the same time. And it's just an incredible to watch you guys train and prepare for these matches. You all are the best trained athletes, bar none.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's so much that we go through. I mean, when you get to a certain level, you got some of the guys that are still out there that probably don't train as hard, but when you get to a certain level and you got a certain individual, they train. I mean, I know that I physically train as hard as I can, and I push myself to another level, and most of the guys I surround myself do the same.
Now, with this teamwork right here, how do you guys really work that teamwork? Do you work with someone like in a wrestling mat, like you do in high school and college, or do you buddy up and work on striking motions?
Yeah, we work on everything. You work on the striking, you work on the wrestling. Different days for different techniques, and you have to let you also, with the sport being so physically demanding, you have to let your body heal a little bit. So, different days for different techniques and different training. But we definitely, that's the one thing I like about Extreme Couture is you work on everything, but you're always working on MMA. You're not just working jiu-jitsu, so when you're out there in a fight, you're doing jiu-jitsu and you get punched and you go, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I love about Extreme Couture is that everything that you're learning to do, will translate to a fight. So
now, when is your next fight coming up, and let us know when the dates so we can start pushing it for everybody.
It's February 29th. It's next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday, in Las Vegas at the Orleans Casino. So I'm fighting Ryan Schultz for the lightweight title.
That's got to feel pretty good, man. The title. That's got to feel great.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. He's definitely a tough opponent. And I believe it's, one of the toughest fights I've had so far. So, I'm up for the task and just ready to get in there and get it on.
Listen, John Gunderson, we want to say thank you for spending this time with us. We want to know if we can give you a call